So, alright. So then looking at stance in relation to the partner. If I'm here, he's doing a good job of trying to get lower than me, right? I don't want to let him, so it's always going to be a fight to see who can get lower and who can maintain that position properly. Because of course I can get all the way down here, but if he can maneuver around me, I've lost, right? So I want to be at a comfortable stance where I'm low enough to where he can't just shoot immediately and I'm all the way open, but I also want to be ready to either attack or defend. So from here, things to note is if I'm reaching with my lead arm, he can easily duck under and get to my back. So reaching with your lead arm is going to be a bit iffy. You have to be careful with it, you have to be fast with it. So if I'm reaching out, I want to usually try grabbing a hand. Wrist control is often best, or locking up on the hands for a good hand fight is usually going to be better. If I'm reaching over for a collar tie, all he has to do is hit my elbow up and he's fast. It's going to be hard to defend. So for collar ties, you want to reach across. Because here, if he wants to hit this and try and go under, my lead arm is there, my lead leg is there, I can maneuver easier, I can turn in and get out of danger. So for collar ties, it's cross side, that backhand is coming forward, and then you're grabbing something else, right? As for timing, and before that, we need head position. When you're wrestling, you want your heads to be in line, right? Center, you're all good. But once his head shifts out, even a little bit, that's my cue for me to shoot. He's out of position. Once his head's out, or his shoulders are out, his hips out, that's your cue to start shooting. So as you're fighting here, whatever you're doing, if you can get him out of position, that's your cue to now go. Even if his arm's in the way, he's still out of position, so you can start working different attacks as well. You can work for a single, pick, ankle pick, doesn't really matter. Once you come in, right? Once we have swimming position, double, or over-unders, the head positioning doesn't matter too much because we're both looking away right now. I could look in, I can try and get better head positioning. It'll help me with certain throws. But if you have a solid underhook and you have good control over his underhook, you can oftentimes still get him off and get picks going even with your head out of position, out of line. So it mainly counts for when you're standing up, when you're shooting, looking for singles or doubles. You want to keep your head in line. When you're coming up, you're fighting with heads. You want to start getting him out of position. I have inside position now. Inside position is going to change because it's not just going to be either the right side or the left side. Looking at his body, you might think inside position is going to be on my left side, but it can also be from the right here. I'm between his head and his shoulder. So I have inside position. Same thing's going to go over here. If we move him the other way, between his head and his shoulder, inside position. So that can also count as well if I'm getting under him. If I'm here, I have inside position between his chin and his chest. So you always want to try and get some sort of inside position. Once you've got that, now you're ready for your shots. You can go double, go for a single, around the pipe, over to the back. All those options are there. But so main things, if you're reaching over for a collar tie with your lead arm, you gotta be careful. So always be ready to defend that because the duck under's coming. So it's the back arm that we're gonna go for collar ties. Other than that, as you're fighting, doesn't matter how you do it. But once you get him out of position, you gotta shoot. You can't sit there and wait for something else. I can't sit here and wait for him to throw his hands up and say, hey, shoot. I gotta fight for it. Once I'm done and I get him out of position, I'm shooting. That's it.